What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm making a right mess again. A proper mess. It's all just manic down here at the minute. Currently, well, I'm making these cycle racks. This is what my little business does and stuff. And I've got a shed load that I need to make. I've already made a load and that's gone out with the first order. I've got a few sitting on the shelf, but I need to make a truckload more. I've got a whole wedge of steel down here. I'll show you a picky so you can see. That will need to turn into them and get powder coated and then bagged up and shoved on the shelf ready to go. Because there might be another order in the offing. I've had an email. So I am madly trying to get all this stuff done. Currently I'm working, well, it varies, between 14 hours and 16 hours a day. And then that's 6 days a week. And then on the 7th day, I only get to work 8 hours. It's mad, I'm knackered. But you know, this is the way it goes sometimes when you're running your own little business, isn't it? So anyway, I'm cracking on with these and that has to be the main focus because that's what keeps the shop going. So it is what it is, but I wanted to get a video out here to let you know some of the stuff that's coming up because we've got some cool stuff coming up. So that's what this video is going to be. It's basically an update. If you was hoping to see me welding stuff and you know all that sort of thing, honestly I haven't had time to do any of that this week. I need to get this stuff done. Hopefully you understand, but I ain't got a choice. So that's what I'm having to focus on. So what's going on? Well, we've had news from Boris and whatnot. So we know when the country is coming out of lockdown and dates and various other bits and pieces, which means Steve-O can get his butt down here and he can give us a hand. Because by the time we're getting into all this stuff, I'll have my head above water again and we'll be able to crack on with stuff. And there's an awful lot of things lined up. So the all cooler you've already seen me doing the mountains. Once it's done, I can wheel the welder over and get that finished. That's easy. I've got a 90-degree bend coming because I want to change the exhaust around just a little bit so it lines up down the side tubes and then we can get the rest of the exhaust in. We've already got the tube and the baffles and everything else for that. So we know what we're doing there. We're basically reusing some other tubes and you know, exhaust pipes and all that sort of stuff. Because it's already got baffling and wadding and stuff. You'll see it when we get to it anyway, but we know what we're doing there. So that's probably going to be one of the first things we jump into, and that's going to set the look of the bike, I think, once we get an exhaust on it. He's also sorted out his speedo, so we'll be out, you know, his instruments, so that'll be going into the headlamp. And then there's a couple of little bits that I've got to do, the peg on the other side and the gear linkage lever, because that needs a right-handed and a left-handed thread. You know, just little stuff like that basically, which ain't hard. It really ain't hard. And then at that point, it's all tear it down so we can get the engine out and have a crack at the engine. Now this is one of the new things. It's a fella called Jamie Mayhew. I have mentioned him before. He's a big lad. I wouldn't want to upset him, but he seems like a really nice chap as well. But I did a couple of favours for him, just welding some bits and pieces up. He loves his bandits. He turbos them and everything. He's a proper nerd when it comes to them, and he loves his engines. Now, on Asbo, I wanted to do a complete cases apart and pretty them all up and do it properly, yeah, because that bike's going to get sold on. Whereas Jixit is Steve-O's pride and joy, basically. But Jamie's been in touch, and he said, well, you know, if you want a hand doing the engine, I'll bit his arm off on that one. I've had a chat with Steve, he's well up for it as well. So on Jixit, we weren't planning to, but the whole of the engine is getting tore apart. I've got like telescoping bore gauges and micrometers and depth micrometers and all sorts of other stuff. So we're going to measure it up and do it properly and give it a complete strip down so we can get the cases apart, get them all prettied up and done properly, because I hated the idea that Steve-O was just going to paint it. Because as soon as you put a spanner on any of the bolts, that's it, your paint job's knackered. So we are going to get to do it properly, which is mega. And we've got a very knowledgeable bloke in Jamie to help walk us through it and get it back together so it runs properly. But he does like racings and everything. I'll get him down here at some point. I'll introduce you. Because he's thinking of doing his own channel as well. So, you know, it's a bit of an introduction for him. It might be of interest to some of you fellas, because I couldn't see really anything out there about, you know, tearing Bandit engines down and modifying them and all that sort of stuff. So it could be a cracking little channel if he does it, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. But this is sort of what we're all sort of focused on. It's going to be these bikes, so having a resource like that is going to be awesome. Yeah, we're going to have to work out exactly how it's all going to go together and whatnot, but that could be really cool. That could be a good little part of the build actually. Tear down and put it all back together again, eh? What else have we got going on? The little milling machine, which has been alright actually. I know I've, you know, taken the mick of it. It is only a mini mill. And I want something a little bit bigger. I really wanted to get a big old Bridgeport. And all that shelving down the bottom end there, that's all going to go to open up the ends. And that's where a milling machine is going to go. Basically, I want a bigger one. So the little milling machine is going to get sold. It will still have all its scales and everything else. I'm not sure about the, you know, the display for the DRO. It all depends what a new one comes with. But I'm going to get another mill, and it's going to have a slightly bigger bed so I can do bigger stuff. Because one thing that's become apparent with doing all these, you know, hangers and stuff is I need to remake a load of the jigs, and I ain't got a big enough bed to do it. But a bigger mill means I'll be able to do more stuff for the bikes as well, you know, yokes and all that sort of stuff. So it is going to get replaced. And I'm going to get a bigger one. It won't be a Bridgeport because I just can't afford them. But it will be something half decent. I'll get some more scales because I'm loving the DRO. That just makes such a difference. Some of them even come with DROs. But that'll be living over there in a corner, and we'll set the shop press up next to it and everything else. Because buried down the back there is the breaker box, you know, all the circuit breakers and stuff. So if anything trips, I've got to have it all out, climb in between the shelves just to flip the switch and turn everything back on again. So anyway, if anybody wants a mill, give us a shout. I'm going to have to get rid of some of the tooling as well, because the one that I'm looking for, Morse Taper 4, that one's a Morse Taper 3. So I'm going to have to get rid of loads of the tooling with it as well, so that will all just get included. So somebody could end up with a bargain. I might just stick it on eBay and see what, you know, whatever it goes for is going to help get the new one in there, but I don't know, we'll see. So that is definitely going to get replaced, so I want to open all this up. Pillar drill, that's also going. Fella down the way there, he wants it, but if I get a bigger mill, I'll just use that instead. I need to have a shuffle round, that's what I need to do. We've also had a few bits and pieces turn up for Asbo. Basically, when this is done, and like I say, we ain't really that far off. When it's done, we want to go out hooning. I ain't got a bike on the road at the minute because we robbed the exhaust to stick back on here. And I've also, you know, the front end is all squidgy and everything on it. So, I've been having a whole load of bits and pieces turn up. I'll drag them out when we get to that point. But I've got, you know, forks. I've got another front wheel down there with the 320mm discs. That came off a Daytona. I've got the calipers. I've got a new headlamp. I've got the clip-ons have turned up. I've got the master cylinder, the, you know, loads of stuff. Top and bottom yoke stem, blah, blah, blah. So, what I want to do is to get the front end swap done on Asbo, and then, you know, get it back on the road and have a play about with it and get it all set up so I'm happy and everything else. So that when this is ready, me and Steve-O can go out for a hoon and we can get some onboard footage. That would be mega. There's also a track day which a mate of ours is setting up. Looks like it's going to go ahead. Looks like it will, because now we've had all the dates for lockdown ending and whatnot. And it's only like a little Nadri track, you know, it's not like Brands Act or anything. But hopefully, if everything comes down as it should do, then that's where we'll be going out to play on this. And, you know, we'll see what's what. So you know, fingers crossed on that one. That one's not a definite, but if it comes off, that's going to be awesome. That will be really, really cool. The other thing is I've pretty much got all the plans now done for Asbo. I know what I want to do and how I want to do it. I'm not telling you now because that will spoil it. But I've got a really good idea as to what I need to do. So in order to do it, I need to build a frame jig, because we're going to be monkeying about with that frame. I might even build a complete new one. So we've got to make a frame jig for it. For prettying up some of the stuff on this, I need to build a vapor blaster. So we're going to be turning the shit blaster into a vapor blaster. I've already got pretty much all the stuff. There's a couple of bits I'm still waiting. I haven't ordered yet, but I didn't see many point because I haven't even started it yet. So that's going to be getting done. So if you want an idea for making a homemade vapor blaster, because they do a cracking job from what I've seen, then that might be of interest to you. Brenda the Bender I've had a bit of a rethink on as well, because she's probably going to have to move. But I'm going to be modifying that a little bit. So I'll probably just make a whole new one and just get rid of that one. Steve-O can have it. So there's like a new and improved Brenda the Bender, because I am going to need that when I come to do Asbo. So there's an awful lot of new stuff that is coming. We just need to get some of this other stuff out of the way. We've also got a couple of trips in mind as well. And if they come off, they're going to be mega. But you know, we shall see. It's just at the minute it's all hands on deck. I need to get these hangers and stuff done and out of the way so I can have another swing at doing all this stuff. I need Steve-O up here, so ending lockdown couldn't have been timed any better, because it gives me a little bit of time to get me head above ground with this lot, so we can get on with that lot and properly put a dink in it. Summer's coming as well. You wouldn't guess it today because it's bloody freezing again. But you know, summer's coming. We want to be out on this stuff. I want to be looking at it in here. I want to be having a go. This is the other thing that's coming. Still got a big old block of brass. That's from Matt Hudson from the workshop. You'll know him. He's basically asked me he sent me over some drawings, a couple of bits and pieces I need to make on the lathe. And I'm getting better with it. It has to be said. I've had, there's been a few people turn up here with, oh, this thing is broken, could you fix it? Can you make me another one? And they're on the yard as well, and we all help one another out down here. So I'm getting better with it, and I can turn stuff down and get it bang on size and various other bits and pieces. And he sent me drawings of what he wants on this. And it looks dead simple and stuff, but a couple of the features I've never done before. So I've got to grind some tool in and stuff like that. I'm going to have a go at it. You ain't going to have to wait long, Matt, but you're going to have to wait just a little bit. But that's going to be coming as well. I haven't got a clue what he's going to be using them for. Haven't got a clue. But once it's done, I'll video it and you can see it all being made and what it actually is. Then I'll get it sent up to him, and then he'll do a video of whatever it is that he's going to be using them for. I'm guessing it's going to be one of his little experiments, which I do really like when he does that. He gets out all the gauges and all this sort of stuff and either proves something or dispels a myth or whatever. I don't know what he's going to be using this for, but I'm quite looking forward to that one. So yeah, that one's coming as well. So, you know, there is a lot going on. I am busy, I'm not shirking, I'm not. But you know, this is what I'm having to do at the minute. Like I say, there's, well, on the yard here, when everything started off with March and the whole lot went into lockdown, all the construction crews and everything else just stopped. And an awful lot of what I sell into the construction crews, because they're doing new development or new builds or renovations or whatever, and they want all this stuff. But that all just stopped. And it stopped for an awful lot of the other businesses here as well. On the yard, I think total count so far is something like 12 businesses have just had to shut up shop and bugger off. They've gone bust. And we was like this close. It was nip and tuck, it has to be said, which is why I'm putting in so many long hours. Because I don't want to lose any of this. I really don't. I worked hard for this, and I'm going to keep it. Come hell or high water, I want to keep my shop going. But you know, it did get really close. We very nearly lost the shop. But I can see a way out of it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I just need to put the effort in, and that's what I'm going to do. You know, I haven't worked this hard just to hand the keys back and do one. And I want to do loads more of this anyway. You don't see all this in the background. All you see is us goofing about at the weekend with bikes. However, everything that goes into this, you know, kind of comes at a price, and you have to put the effort in, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm sorry that this video isn't a working on the bike video. I really did want to get some other little bits and pieces done. I just haven't had the time at all. I'm buggered. I'm absolutely knackered, but we're getting through it. So, you know, stuff's getting made, stuff's going back on the shelves. We're getting ready for the orders that I think are coming, because they've already been in touch and stuff, so we should be fine. And, you know, like I say, once we get Steve-O back down here, which, you know, going by that date thing is going to be March, it'll all be sorted, it'll all be fine, we can crack on. This lot realistically is going to take another 2 weeks, because I had a couple of other things come through as well. So next video I am going to do something on the bike, I promise you that. It is going to be a little job, it is going to be cherry picked, because I do need to do this stuff. But I will do something on the bike, and that'll be the next video. And then the weekend after that, I'm hoping all this is done and we can have at it properly. That'll be really nice. That would be good. So there you go. That's where we are. It really isn't the way that I wanted this video. I wanted to be doing stuff on the bike, you know that. I love talking about with bikes and making stuff and all that sort of thing. That's what I would love to be doing full time, if I'm absolutely honest. It's never going to happen, but that is what I would love to be doing, just making stuff like that. But you know, a bit like what Craig does basically. But you know, all this other stuff lets me do that stuff. So this stuff has to come first. Yeah, as far as subscribers go, we've just passed the 8,000 subscribers mark, which is mega. There's loads of people chipping in and, you know, watching what we're up to and all that sort of stuff. So that is awesome. We still get like the odd fella buys a t-shirt and stuff like that. So yeah, that obviously helps out. And our patrons are stuck by us all the way through all this, which just makes a massive, massive, massive difference. So, you know, thank you to everybody who's been watching and chipping in, you know, however you've done it, be it through the comments, through Patreon, by buying some merch or whatever else it is. You have no idea how much it helps. And I really, really do appreciate it. I promise I'm going to get back on it. I'm going to get all this stuff done. You know, it is happening, I'm working hard on it. And then, you know, I can get back on some of the fun stuff. As far as Jixit goes, you know, the exhaust is probably going to be the next bit, I would imagine. I've just got the gear shift side of things to sort out. Got to set the speedo into the headlight and get all that sorted. Pretty much it's there then. That's it. We know where everything else is going. We know, you know, how it's going to be built up and clearances and all that other stuff. That's all done. So then it will be a case of tear it down, we can sort the engine out. That's only going to be like a couple of 3 videos, I would think. Tear down, inspection, this is what we're replacing, blah 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 blah, pretty it up, stick it all back together again, fully weld the frame up, and then we can, you know, start building stuff and putting it back on the bike, which shouldn't actually take that long because everything's there. That's the whole point of a dry build. You know, Jack ain't going to take long to powder coat it, he's itching to have a go. And what with Steve-O, you know, because he's now got his job and everything else, the funds to do it is all sorted. So, you know, we're basically there. There really isn't that much to, it's just I need to get it done. As far as the front end swap, I don't think that's going to be too hard. Most of the stuff basically comes from the same bike off a Daytona. So it should all go together really quite simply, I think. That's pretty much it. Disassemble it, stick it all back together again. Oh, wheel bearings. I need to sort out some wheel bearings and some headstock bearings. But apart from that, that should be a relatively straightforward thing to do. Just because of the bits and pieces that I've got to do it. You know, we sort of thought it through and, you know, what's going to be the best way, and this is the simplest option really that gets me what I want. So that shouldn't be too bad. It's just a case of MOT it, get it stuck on a dyno, see what it does, and take it out for a hoon. And obviously we'll be taking you with us. So, you know, there ain't much as far as getting it finished off. There really ain't. And I am looking forward to it, and with the weather turning and that as well, couldn't have come at a better time. But that's it, that's like the full scoop. That's everything that's coming, or everything that I've got written down to do. So there is an awful lot, and then obviously it's on to Asbel and blah blah blah, as a wise man once said. So there you go, it's just an update. I couldn't show you any work, but I can tell you what the plans are. Hopefully it's something you're going to want to see and you'll stick around for it. But like I say, thank you ever so much for watching. It's massively appreciated. And you know, we get through these tough times and it'll be on bigger and better things hopefully. But there you go, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Do stay well and stay safe, because not everybody's had their jab yet. I know I haven't. I'm still waiting on my letter. And that's it. We'll see you again next time. Laters.